Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 9 p.m. English News Edition brought to you live from the national television. The top stories of tonight's are: Prime Minister Abdulqadir Kamil Mohammed chaired this morning the fifth meeting to follow up on the national response plan for the ongoing drought in the country. Djibouti scouts experience military training at Hol Hol. And on the international scene, Chelsea was crowned 2025 Club World Champion by US President Donald Trump after beating Paris Saint-Germain yesterday night. Those were the top stories, and welcome back in our newsroom. Prime Minister leads a meeting on national drought response plan. Prime Minister Abdulqadir Kamil Mohammed chaired this morning the fifth meeting to follow up on the national response plan for the ongoing drought in Djibouti. The meeting was held at the Prime Minister's office following the instruction of President Soumaïla Marguerite. Several key ministers attended the meeting, including those in charge of solidarity, interior, defense, agriculture, decentralization, and environment as well. Technical experts and members of the Prime Minister's office joined the session. The meeting focused on reviewing urgent measures to deal with the worrying drought situation in some parts of the country. A key decision made during the meeting included sending a technical team urgently to the Shebele area to assess the situation, speeding up the delivery and installation of electric generators to replace malfunctioning solar systems, updating data on wells in coordination with all relevant authorities. And at the end of the meeting, the Prime Minister reaffirmed the government's strong commitment to providing a fast, coordinated and inclusive response focused on helping the communities most affected by the drought. And still with the national news, step by step, the Horn of Africa initiative continues to move ahead. This time, finance ministers from Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, and South Sudan came together for the 25th ministerial meeting of the initiative. The gathering showed a strong shared commitment to advancing major development projects in the region despite ongoing challenges. The meeting was co-chaired by Somalia's Minister of Finance, Bihi Isman Igi, and Nena Mabufo, a senior official from the African Development Bank. Djibouti's Minister of Economy and Finance in charge of Industry, Ilyas Moussa Dawali, joined virtually along with Mariam Hamadou Ali, Minister Delegate for Digital Economy, and Almis Mohamed Abdullahi, Secretary General of the government. Ministers expressed their appreciation for continued support for international partners such as the European Union, Germany, the United Kingdom, and the World Bank. Together, these partners have helped raise $12 billion to fund key Horn of Africa initiative projects. The countries now hope to attract even more support, especially from new donors in both public and private sector. The French National Day is celebrated at Djibouti Air Base. On Monday, this morning, the French Air Base 188 in Djibouti hosted a military ceremony to mark France's National Day celebrated every year on July 14 in memory of the storming of the Bastille. Organized by the French forces based in Djibouti, the event brought together senior military leaders, diplomats, veterans, and Djiboutian partners to honor the values of solidarity, cooperation, and shared defense. Organized by the French forces in Djibouti, the ceremony was led by General Sébastien Valette, commander of the FFDG, and attended by high-ranking officials from both Djibouti and France. and among them were Djibouti's Minister of National Defense Hassan Omar Mohamed Burhan and General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, Chief of General Staff of Djiboutian Army Forces. The French Ambassador to Djibouti, Dana Bucaresco, also attended and highlighted the strong historic ties between the two nations. Troop parade highlights a French National Day celebration in Djibouti. A key moment of July 14th celebration organized by the French forces based in Djibouti was the review of the troops and the military parade. The event broadly showed the unity, strength, and modern equipment of the French forces based in Djibouti. The ceremony took place at Air Base 188 under the command of General Sébastien Valette. He expected the troops standing in formation with great discipline and pride. All branches of the French forces in Djibouti were present: the 5th Overseas Joint Regiment, the Naval Base, Air Base 188, support and logistic units, and a unit from the Djiboutian Army Forces, which highlights the strong and friendly military cooperation between France and Djibouti. This joint participation is a clear symbol of trust and partnership between the two countries working together for peace and stability in the region. One of the most exciting parts of the event was the air show. 2 modern helicopters flew over the base, the NH-19 Cayman, designed for joint tactical missions, the H-225M Caracal, specialized in transport and support mission. In an interview, the commander of the French forces based in Djibouti expressed his satisfaction at taking part in the celebration of Bastille Day 14 July. He warmly thanked all those in attendance, especially the Minister of the Interior and the Chief of Staff of the Djiboutian Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim. The commander also highlighted the importance of this shared moment as a symbol of friendship and cooperation between France and Djibouti. Moving on to other news, Djibouti scouts experienced military training at Hol Hol camp. And after a previous training session at the Idris Farah Abani Police Academy and the Sheikh Musa Training Center in PK13, the Djibouti scouts continue their civic and discipline-based education journey. On Thursday, July 10, 2025, they gather for the 3rd session, this time at the Hol Hol Military School. The event was organized by IPEPS, the Association for the Promotion of Physical Education and School Sports, under the high patronage of the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training. The day started earlier at the National Education Training Center, where the young scout boarded buses to Nagad Station. From there, they took a train to Hol Hol, and upon arrival, they were warmly welcomed with the traditional songs, dances, and a warm reception by instructors at the Hassan Guled Abtidon Military School, where they began a 3-day immersion. Lieutenant Colonel Ali Abdi, the commander of the school, gave a welcome speech and introduced the program, which was jointly designed by APEPS coordinators and military experts. Over the 3 days, the scouts took part in both classrooms and lessons, including topics such as civic duty, citizenship, and Islamic teachings, and hands-on activities like first aid, map reading, orientation running, a tent setup, and team sports. Each day began with a flag-raising ceremonies, setting the tone for a day of discipline, teamwork, and learning. The scouts also engage in meaningful community activities. The Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahamoud, presided over on Sunday morning the closing ceremony of the 3rd immersion program of the Djibouti Scout movement. This program was organized in partnership with the Djiboutian Army Forces at Hassan Guled Military School. The minister was warmly welcomed with the full military honors by Colonel Ibrahim Zakaria Sheikh, Director General of International Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Ali Abdi, the school commander, and other local and administrative authorities. He was then escorted to the military school's auditorium, where the atmosphere was lively with traditional songs and dances. The ceremony began with a reading from the Holy Quran, followed by a video presentation that showed highlights from the Scouts' 3-day immersion. This review demonstrated a rich and well-organized program combining civic education, theoretical lessons, and military practice and field visits. The young participants were introduced to core values such as discipline, rigor, and self-improvement. And during the ceremony, the commander of Hassan Guled Military School, Lieutenant Colonel Ali Abdi, commended the young scout for their exemplary discipline and strong engagement throughout the program. He noted that their behavior reflected the core military values of responsibility, teamwork, and perseverance. He emphasized that the scouts had demonstrated a maturity beyond their years and express confidence that this immersive experience will leave a lasting impact on their character and sense of civic duty. For his part, the Minister Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud addressed all the participants, highlighting that the Scout movement is part of the national strategy to reinforce extracurricular activities. The goal is to prepare a generation that is aware, disciplined, and actively engaged. The Minister of National Education announced the launch of an ambitious project to put in place Scout units in every school across the capital and the region as well, describing the young participant and this training as the pioneer of this important educational and community initiatives. And now the closing ceremony of the third training camp of the Djibouti Scout movement featured an important moment, the distribution of certificates and official awards to the most outstanding scouts during this intensive training. In front of an official audience and guests, 20 young trainees were honored for their discipline and sense of responsibility shown throughout the program. And among the 20 trainees, 6 scouts were promoted to the ranks of candidate, a prestigious rank within the movement. This rank gives them the responsibility to lead and guide their peers. These young leaders are expected to serve as role models in leadership and teamwork, reflecting the Scout philosophy based on excellence and community services. The Scout movement is a voluntary educational movement for young men and women aiming to develop their physical, mental, social, and spiritual abilities so they become active, responsible citizens who contribute to the development of their communities. And at the ceremony, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, accompanied by military leaders, handed out the official Scout emblem to all participants. This emblem is more than just a badge. It symbolizes the full commitment of these young people to the national movement and their country's values. And during the event, 90 Scouts gave a special final performance in the military school courtyard. They demonstrated discipline and organization, showing strong teamwork and patriotism. This impressive display reflected their readiness and dedication to national values and cooperation, earning the admiration of everyone present. The training activities concluded with a scene that perfectly captured the mission of the Djibouti Scout movement to shape a generation that is aware, responsible, and committed to the values of patriotism, solidarity, and service to the nation. And under the high patronage of the President of the Court of Auditors, Ismahan Mahmoud Ibrahim, the Court of Auditors organized this morning, July 14, 2025, the opening ceremony of the Public Accountants Workshop. The event took place in the presence of the Attorney General at the Court of Auditors, Madiba Ismail Aulad, and the Director of External Financing, Ali Mohammed Ali. This activity is part of the project supporting public finance control institutions and the governance of public enterprises and establishment. This project is funded by the African Development Bank. The training serves as an excellent platform for sharing expertise and reflects the combined efforts previously highlighted. It is now up to you to build on this achievement and turn them into correct action, he said. In her address, Madiba Ismail Aulad, Attorney General at the Court of Auditors, underscored that this training course plays a vital role in the ongoing enhancement of professional skills. She stressed that these skills are fundamental to upholding the general standards of financial oversight, thereby ensuring the highest quality of work by supreme audit institutions. And in turn, the President of the Court of Auditors expressed her deep satisfaction in delivering the opening speech at the launch of the training workshop focused on auditing the accounts of public accountants. She emphasized the importance of this initiative for the professional development of the magistrate of the Court of Auditors of Djibouti. And now this first meeting of the Joint Coordination Committee for the Fisheries Sector Capacity Development Project held at Isla Grand Hotel. Today marked a significant milestone in the cooperation between the Republic of Djibouti and Japan, with the first meeting of the Joint Coordination Committee for the Fisheries Sector Capacity Development Project held at Isla Grand Hotel. This meeting advances efforts to promote the blue economy. The project launched in October 2024 follows the signing of a cooperation agreement in June 2023 between Djibouti's Ministry of Agriculture, Water, Fisheries, Livestock and Fisheries Resources and the Japan International Cooperation Agency. This strategic partnership reflects a shared commitment to strengthening national capacities for sustainable fisheries management in line with Djibouti's national blue economy strategy. Since its inception, the project has mobilized a team of Japanese experts who, in close collaboration with the Directorate of Fisheries, have conducted a comprehensive assessment of the sector's structural challenges. The technical advisor to the Ministry of Agriculture, Water, Fisheries, Livestock, Mr. Tabarak, highlighted that this project is a crucial part of Djibouti's wider strategy to modernize its fisheries sector. He underscored the importance of adopting an inclusive and collaborative approach that actively involves all key players, from artisanal fishermen and local cooperatives to private companies and governmental institutions. And according to the technical advisor to the Ministry of Agriculture, only through such a broad-based participation can the sustainable management of marine resources be achieved, ensuring that the benefits are shared equitably and that the sector develops responsibly for the long-term well-being of coastal communities and the environment as well. This morning, the meeting room at the Prefecture of Djibouti City hosted a crucial working session focused on reviewing measures related to the suspension of driving license. The discussion centered on handling the most serious traffic offenses, including involuntary manslaughter, speeding, dangerous overtaking. The meeting was chaired by Abdi Siki Riyad, Prefect of Djibouti City, and attended by Stakeholders such as the prosecutors at the Court of Justice, representatives from the National Gendarmerie, and officials from the National Police. This gathering is part of an institutional effort to reinforce road safety and reduce risky driving behavior on the capital's roads. During the session, the National Commission responsible for driving license suspicion presented over 7 cases related to recent fatal accidents. Taking the floor, the prefect of Djibouti City, Abdi Seki Qayad, reportedly chaired an important meeting focused on reviewing measures related to the suspension of driving lessons. He emphasized the institutional commitment to reinforcing road safety and urged all drivers to adopt responsible driving habits. And during the session, key stakeholders, including the prosecutor at the Court of Justice and representatives from the National Gendarmerie and National Police, discussed serious traffic offenses. The prefect finally highlighted that most recent fatal accidents were linked to traffic violations and stressed the importance of reducing risky behavior on the capital roads. In El Sibih now, as part of ongoing efforts to monitor prices and stock level, inspector from the Ministry of Commerce and Tourism carried out a data collection operation this morning in El Sibih region. This project is funded by, let's recall, the World Bank under the emergency response to the food crisis. The main goal of the operation is to assess the stock management and verify compliance with approved pricing. Inspectors met with the managers of storage and distribution centers in the region of El Sibih and inspected essential goods stocks including rice, cooking oil, sugar, and dairy products. They found that stocks are sufficient to meet the needs of the local population. However, some irregularities were noted, particularly price violations exceeding the approved rates. Trade inspector issued a warning to strictly respect the prices set by the ministry and indicated that sanction will be imposed on establishments that fail to comply. And during the operation, several batches of food and consumer products found on some market stalls were identified as posing potential risk to public health. In sport, the ASD Gypsy club has just completed a remarkable season that will go down in local sport history. And starting in the 3rd division, the team achieved an impressive feat by earning promotion to the 2nd division, a rapid and well-deserved rise. The success was celebrated during a gala evening organized in partnership with their official sponsor, Jib Clean. This historic promotion reflects total commitment, intense work from the coaching staff, management, and players who never stopped believing in their abilities. Their journey is a true example of teamwork and sporting discipline at its best. During the event, the club also expressed deep gratitude to Jib Clean, a loyal partner who has supported them from the very beginning. Moving on now to the international scene, more than 90 Palestinians were killed in Israeli airstrikes in Gaza on Sunday, with 52 of them in Gaza City as the conflict enters its 647th day. The UNICEF reported that over 5,800 children suffered from malnutrition in Gaza last June, and UNOY clinics have seen a rise in malnutrition cases since the Israeli blockade began in March. On the diplomatic front, U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff expressed optimism about the ongoing ceasefire talks in Qatar, where indirect negotiations have been underway for a week. It was on the top series. Chelsea was crowned 2025 Club World Champions by U.S. President Donald Trump after beating Paris Saint-Germain in the final yesterday night. The English team who took control earlier by scoring 3 goals in the first half, including 2 by Cole Palmer and 1 by Joao Pedro. This tournament was the first to use a new format featuring 32 clubs and held every 4 years. Donald Trump attended the match with First Lady alongside FIFA President Gianni Infantino. So that's it for tonight news. Thanks for being with us and have a good night.